take a little bit of subtitles on the GoPro for you to understand some bits, but I'll take you through basically like what we do every game now, which is a scout for our opposition, and we try and keep it to kind of a set template, so it follows a familiar pattern every week, so the girls can start to get used to like what they're looking to expect and what they're looking to look for the game coming up. Obviously, one of the challenges we face a little bit is that there's a lot of information, so they can start to get quite a bit long and tedious, so we try and keep it as kind of compact as we can, and we break it up. Unfortunately for you guys, you're going to get the whole shebang in one go, which is quite a lot to take in, but I'll take you through that. So the first things that we tend to look at is we'll look at the opposition's attacking style of play, and bits that we'll look for there is just generally how they like to go forward with the ball, what shape they play in, who are some of their key players in that, what are the tendencies and patterns that they have when they go forward, and there'll be a lot of clips that we look at from there. Flip side of that, we then look at their defensive style of play, where they're weak, where they're vulnerable, where can we exploit, where do our strengths match up against theirs that are in our favour, and we'll start to look at that, and then we'll go through kind of their set pieces, free kicks, corners, goals that they've conceded, goals that they've scored, and we'll come up with a game plan that then we'll do in training. Then we'll come back for an initial scout before the game, and we'll have a look at training and add some more bits into that, and then we'll go into the game, then after we'll have a game. So what I'll take you through now is like the initial game day scout, the review of like the added bit when we've had training, and then the game review post the game, right? So we always try and start with like a little, like I get an AI generated picture, so whoever we're playing, whoever their mascot is, I always make like just a little road runner beating up like whatever their mascot is. So for this one it was us against ECU Pirates, so there's a little road runner just beating up a pirate there. We'll then look at their shape. So we knew that ECU were going to play in like a 3-5-2, like it was a little bit mixed though, where they're forward, like one of the wing backs like to get a lot higher than the other one, right? And we'll start to put their numbers down and where they play, and then we'll look at within that shape who the key players are. So we knew for this game that the key players here would be number 22. We knew that she was a player that liked to go on her right foot. She was very attack minded. She'd go at people 1v1. We thought that no matter what side they played her on, she was somebody that we needed to match up with a defender that was very good for us, because she was going to cause us a lot of problems. We knew that number 10, coming in from England, she's a big presence, she's athletic, she would hold the ball up very well for them, she was a danger on set pieces, she was going to be their target through most of their play, most of their goals and everything going forwards was going through number 10, so we knew that we had to eliminate her and kind of limit that kind of strength as much as we could. Again, then you had number 11. This was the player that, as they built out the back, and when we looked at their attacking playing style, she was the one that was mainly threading most of the passes. Like we would call her like kind of the puppet master. She was kind of pulling all the strings, and she was the one that would continue to build the attack, mainly then trying to find number 10 for them to go forward. And then obviously we had their goalkeeper, where we speak about like she's a very experienced senior player. She's going to do everything that you kind of expect the goalkeeper to do. If it's after, she's going to catch it. If it's a basic save, she's going to execute it very simply. She's not prone to kind of just dropping the ball and spilling it. She's going to do everything that we're expecting her to do. So we had to be very particular and very purposeful for how we went forward in that.
You mentioned 3-5-2. What does that mean?
That's their shape. That's the formation they'll play. So they'll have 3 defenders at the back, 5 midfielders across the middle. So you'll have these 3 are the back 3 defending. These 5 are the 5 in midfield, and then the 2 are up top. And obviously, in a 3-5-2 shape, it starts to become very flexible, very fluid, where players can start to move back and forth. But that's the generics of their shape and the foundation. After that, then we'd look at, and then the last one was number 12. She was in yellow because she's one that we felt we could really like go at, and one a defender that we thought was a weakness in their back line. She didn't have a lot of pace. She didn't have a lot of experience in the game. She'd been drafted in because someone was injured, so we felt she was an area that we could really exploit defensively as we went forward. We'll then look at their attacking playing style, and we'll go through all of those bits. But you can see obviously some of the main points there are: we knew that their play was going to be directed through number 10. We knew that their entry passes as they built would come out their right and left centre back. They were the 3 at the back, the one on the left and the right. And then we knew that they would build in their defensive third, but then they would deliver a direct ball forwards up to the people up top. So they were the kind of attacking playing styles that we looked at. We'll then go through like video, and so what I'll do is I'll go and watch hours and hours and hours of film on who they're playing. The team we were going to play is in black, and they're against the team in white for Temple. So we were looking mainly at these 2 left and right centre backs, and they would be the ones that were the main players distributing the ball forwards from. So you'll start to pick up patterns where it comes out to the left centre back. She's looking to find that entry pass. Can she find a pass that goes into the forward, or can she find a ball that goes over the top into the space behind? If she can't, their tendency and their pattern was to continue to recycle it until that opportunity arose where then they can move forward. So you'll start to see now she sees that ball that's in over the top. She's aiming for the number 10, the one that we picked out in the scout prior to. She's the target. And then the play will kind of go through them as she plays. You can see she doesn't shy out of a tackle either. Again, they pick up the ball here, they start to recycle it. Sorry if you're on your way at the back. They start to recycle it. They're very patient with their build. We knew they were going to build through the thirds. Comes out to the left centre back again, looking at the forwards now, at the top for their runs. They're starting to come over and get ball side in the pockets. Can't play it that way, so they shifted again. We put a note on their keeper being very high as well and being a playmaker. She was involved a lot in as they build. Again, just that patient build. They're not going to force it forward. They're waiting for that right moment to go and play forwards. Especially as Temple didn't put a ton of pressure on them, they were able to move the ball around the back very fluidly. But then it'll get played forwards, and they're looking for these forwards. You'll see here the 10 comes into the picture on the far side. Again, this is them on another game. Similar tendencies, similar patterns. Comes out to the right centre back. She can't play forwards. This is the number 10 receiving the ball in here. One of the things that we've got here is that we were saying whenever she received the balls in these spaces, we were going to create numbers up. So we were going to double up. We were going to create 2v1s, 3v1s. Number 22 on the ball here that we knew would be quite crafty and like to go players 1v1. So just generally looking at a lot of their kind of attacking tendencies, picking out key players. The number 10 again getting onto the ball here, what she kind of likes to do, looking for those little entry passes. She battles hard to get it back, but just really trying to give our players a visualization of like what to expect from the team that they're going to play. I get the privilege of being able to watch an absolute ton of video and being able to pick stuff out. Our players not so much, you know, they've got to balance studying, they've got to balance hours, they don't have access to all the systems that I have access to. So we really want to try and just give them that visual of what to expect before the game from the team that's going forwards. We'll then shift from there and we'll start to look at their defending playing style. And again, we'll look at the bits, we've mentioned some of these off there, but we'll look at like the very indirect pressure. What that means is that they don't actually go and run and press at the ball, they kind of step off and they shape it, giving us more time and space on it, but being harder to break through their lines. The front seven get very disconnected from the back three, and this was a big area that we look to exploit in the game, and that goes into the video in a second. And then their high back line we didn't think was blessed with pace, and we thought that that was an area that we could really exploit, and the goalkeeper getting high off the line. So this is like all ECU defending, so you'll see the team that they're playing, James Madison in blue, ECU are the team in white. So this was the main area for us that we looked to exploit, was that we said that their front five here, not including their two wing backs, got very disconnected from their back three, and we felt that this was a pocket of space in the yellow that we could really exploit by getting a ball into there. So you'll see as this video goes through, this was James Madison, they play a ball into there. There's a lot of space in behind their high back line. We're looking for that kind of flick on, that knock on into the corner behind it to get runners going behind their back line into that space. So we will show our team this, and this is what we're trying to achieve, this is what we're trying to go for. A few other clips as they come through here. Again, you've got that space in front of their back line in the yellow, that white box representing the space in behind their high back line. Gets a flick on, forwards running into the space behind. We knew the keeper would be high off a line to try and defend that. So these were the kind of main pinpointed activities that we were trying to stop as they went forward. There's a couple other clips here and then I'm moving on. We knew that goal kicks as they come in, this kid was not very good in the air, so she was losing a lot of aerial battles and aerial duels to James Madison. Then they were able to go and counter again, recognising that space that's in behind their back line, looking for can we penetrate and can we punish on those areas to get players in behind. So from the next goal kick, because she was weak, they switched around, they put the number 10 in there because she was a strong athletic presence that we were ready for. Basically our concept was if they put the number 10 in areas, we would keep our goal kicks and we'd keep our distribution away from the number 10. I won't show you all of this because otherwise it will just get, like as I said, they see this in like broken pieces. They don't all see it just in one big bash and one big go. But just again, it's about trying to give them that what to expect and sort of showing them weaknesses, showing them areas that we can exploit to put them in a good mindset of where they can go into that game with the concept of, okay, I can actually see where I can hurt this team, I can see where we can be successful, and start to give them that vision of getting in the right place there. This was just looking at how they pressed a little bit, again, looking at it was very indirect pressure. They started to shape the play more than they did go and press it, but then again recognising that we could use this 3v3 at the back as they press to our advantage. We really wanted to find this gap in the white with our three, and we changed our shape a little bit for this game to put 3 forwards up on their 3 centre backs, which we don't normally do, but we changed our shape for this game, recognising that we could exploit these types of spaces and these types of areas we could go in behind, right? So we showed the girls a lot of this recognition for areas where we could go and exploit that. What we would then do from there is we would go out onto the training ground, and so this would be the next day now. What we would do is have a quick recap, and we would show them then, like, this is what we were looking at, this is what we wanted to achieve. So I'd send them, like, this would be up on the screen, and I'd show them this still picture of, like, this is what we are specifically looking at for the training session as we go into that game. We'd be giving now people individual roles, individual responsibilities within their shape, within their formation of what they're going to go and do. And then we'd come back and have a look at the added scout of then what we were doing from training. So this is clips now from us at training. And this is like, it's a bit hard to see just because all the dew on the ground and stuff, but this is now, you'll see like the players with the yellow arrows coming from them. They're the forwards that are going to play on Thursday. These are the one going in for the header here is the one trying to flick it on, and we're trying to recreate that shape and recreate that scout of what we've seen to try and put it in on the training ground to see if there's any flaws. We do have the odd blooper that comes in as well while they're trying to head the ball, and I add them in from now and then just to keep them entertained. But you'll start to see then from training, we then go back and start to look at, right, we created that box of the 3 that we wanted in there, 3v3 up there. We'll start to look at distances and gaps and shapes of where it was either working very well or not working very well. And we'll talk through these areas of what we've got to do when we are playing the ball up high. We want everybody to then come in and get compact and squeeze with the play. And this was areas that we found from training. Again, relating it back to the initial scout of seeing that there's that pocket of where we want to play, the header and the contact that we want to win, that space that's going in behind, forwards running in behind there, but really recreating those pieces from the scout in the training session. As they then do that, you'll see in the next clip, we had some success. Was it this one? Yep, so you'll see the 2 players highlighted at the very start are the 2 players that are involved in this. So you've got initially our forward flicking it on and our left wing back coming on running behind. The forward wing's the initial flick on, we create that space in behind, and our wing back's the one that actually ends up running up here. She crosses the ball across, you can't see the number here, but she's around about 65 metres. The forward's around about 62 metres to get into there, and we've gone all the way up the left hand side, put a ball into the box and got the fix, exactly kind of what we were looking for to exploit that space in behind. And so we'll have like all of those bits. This will then be more of it in like a full training session on how we're pressing and how we're working with those front 3. And so we'll break that down into what we're looking for, not just for our attacking playing style, but now this is more based on the defensive playing style of how we want to stop them from playing when we press. So we go through all of those pieces in training. It then gets played back to them on the video so that they can have that recognition and that sort of revisiting the main points of emphasis for the game so that they can then get those bits to go for Thursday. And again, reiterating that we knew that ball was going to come forwards from the left centre back, so we were working very hard on our pressing shape to prevent them from playing into those areas. And as we said, this one here, we felt we could trap on the ball a lot as she was one of their weaker links. So this was the back end of that training session of us doing the exact opposite. So we've had our attacking style of play, this is how we were going to defend, this is how we were going to press, this is how we were going to prevent them from coming forward at us. And then again, like I said, the occasional bloop. This is just someone running into a mannequin just to keep the room a bit entertained, as the scout can be quite tedious sometimes. So she runs flat into a mannequin right there, and we tend to keep them in where we can. This would then be a separate scout, so again, apologies, you're going through a soccer scout ball in one big whack, but this would then be revisited on normally game day. So for example, we travel to USF, we travel tomorrow, we've done the initial scout today, we went out to training and just did the training part just now in the morning. When tomorrow morning, we'll